Hey,
Hey, Brad.
Hi.
hey, how are you?
How are you feeling?
Very fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you. Now,
Nice.
before we started this meeting, you were dressed in some certain way. Now you're back to the suit. The suit itself, man. Hey, bro, what's happening?
Thank you. I'm humbled.
Okay. Welcome to DYLC. The audience is here to listen to you.
Yes.
And maybe you can just do a brief introduction so people can be aware of who they're speaking to.
All right. My name is Brian Martin Zugana. I'm a communication strategist and an actor. So most of you know me as Luwi on the famous program Maria.
Wow, the famous program Maria. Let me not even go there. Let me just keep away from that topic. It's going to kill the whole discussion. That's where I'm sure everyone is going to ask. So how has your day been like since you woke up? Describe
My
the
day
day this
has
morning.
been, my morning has been fantastic. I thank God. You usually don't take it lightly, and I usually don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
For God making you see another day, because a lot of people wanted to be there, they're not there. So yeah, my day has kicked off on a high note, and yeah, I thank God for everything.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's really nice. So people have been really asking for Salui for a while. I think that's why most of the people, a very good number is here just to see Mr. Louis. So
Here I am.
uh, let's go to Maria. Before we start anything, let us go to Maria. So maybe
Yes.
you can give people a small journey, like your acting journey. Where did you begin from and how did you reach to where you are? Because Maria, if I'm not wrong, is one of the biggest selling shows right now in mainstream media. So just describe your journey from where you started and how you
Yes.
got to where you are right now.
Basically, my journey began way back. My father was the one who introduced me to acting. He used to come home, bring me novels, give me Shakespearean plays, and I used to read a lot of these novels and these plays. And I fell with love, especially the work of art of Shakespeare. So I fell in love with that. And I picked it. Primary school, high school, campus. My journey began from way back. I've done a lot of projects, even for KTN at some point. And I think right now it's when Maria now catapulted me and placed me out there. But my journey has been one hell of a journey. I did not just wake up and found myself in Maria. So most people usually assume like this person just went, got, Maria, and that's it. I started way back. Right now I show you some of the clips that I did, you'll not even believe it's me. So yeah, my journey began way back in the day.
Yeah. One thing that I got to learn about you is you're also a motivational speaker.
Yes.
You pass nice knowledge to so many people, and I think you're also an inspiration to many of the youth in the country right now. What is
Yes.
your take on the COVID-19 situation, linking it up to the youth? How is this supposed to be handled?
Um, for me, I look at it in a more holistic way. Basically, information. For me, I will light on information. Like, how best do you know what this COVID-19 is all about? Yeah, because the greatest tragedy is a lot of people really don't understand what this COVID-19 is, and that's the most unfortunate part of it.
Yeah.
So once we know and we try as much as possible, like disseminating this information to people who have no idea what this COVID-19 is. That's number one. As a youth, I strongly believe we are living in an era whereby we are so advantageous in the point that we have all these social media platforms. Yeah, and for me, I look at it like as long as you have that phone and you can come up with anything, create content, probably for COVID-19, put it, share it in your WhatsApp groups, and let that message, go out so people may actually what this COVID-19 is all about, because most people don't know, truth be told. Yeah. And I strongly feel like we're in a position of, just reaching out numbers out there and making people aware of what this COVID-19 is all about. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. Maybe just before we continue, I can add in Jemimah. Jemimah, please,
Yes.
if you can pop in. So that I'm trying to link the panelists all together.
All right.
Yeah.
I think Sir Luwi can also talk to us about the trophy behind him.
Yeah, very
in the
true.
meantime.
Before we started,
yeah.
Before we started, we asked you, did you do that intentionally or is it always there?
No, this is always here. No, this is always there. It's always there. Yeah. But it's more of a reminder. It always reminds me, like, if it's not for the love and support of my fans, then it won't even be here in the first place. So it's just a reminder whereby my fans play a major role in my life, and they always make me, go the extra mile in giving them nothing but the best. So this is for them.
Maybe just someone has a very interesting question before we move to Jemimah.
Yes.
So when you're literally in the process of acting, let's put it that way.
Yes.
How do you handle the pressure? Like, how do you handle the pressure of, there is always scripts. So
Yes.
like, let's say you've forgotten a whole page of a script. How do you handle that?
For me, once I'm in that character, I step in the shoes of that particular character. Now, when it comes to scripts, we're usually given scripts, let's say, a week, 2 weeks prior. So you have all that ample time to prepare, get your lines, try and learn them, how you can deliver them differently. But once you're on the set and shooting, that's a whole ball game. You kill Brian as a person totally, and you wear the shoe of Luwi. Everything that tries to come and block, it's no longer there, because this now is Luwi. You're dealing with Luwi. So it's more like you transform, you switch from Brian to Luwi, and try as much as possible to give life to Luwi as a person.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that question is because you'll find maybe when we were in the process of reaching out to you, you ask yourself,
yes.
Am I reaching out to Brian? Am I reaching out to Sir Luwi? Then I tell someone, it's the same person, but
yes.
someone has really interacted with one character so much they're like, okay, how is this guy in a normal life situation? So like, who is Brian? That's who the people want to know. So if you ask that question, who is Brian?
Brian is a God-fearing man. Brian is a brother, a father, a son, and Brian as a person is very shy. Yeah.
What?
You look at Luwi. I'm very shy. I'm a very shy person. So yeah, that's Brian for you. But sometimes you come across and meet people, and they always assume you are this serious of a person. Yeah. But that's not the case. Brian is a very shy person. Very shy.
Wow. Okay. So I think we'll move to Jemimah. Hi, Jemimah.
Hi.
Yeah. Luwi, just stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Just stay.
All right.
Jemimah, as you can see, the topic of discussion of today. Okay. Before even I move there, I think I'm forgetting the mere fact that we have new members in our session today. Maybe you can introduce yourself again. And I told myself, anytime Jemimah introduces herself, she has to say what it means to be an Isaac in Kenya president, and what is Isaac in Daystar, and what is, because the questions always still coming. Yeah.
Okay, sawa. So hi everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. and I'd like to thank ISEC Indista for the invitation. So my name is Jemimah Mutysia, and I am the National President of ISEC in Kenya. So in ISEC, the structure is not really complicated, but we have the national office, and under the national office, we have a couple of local entities under us. So that's basically the different universities that have ISEC present in them. So Chemao Derek is a local president of ISEC in Indista, and we have about 7 other local presidents. So president of ISEC in Strathmore, president of ISEC in UON, president in ISEC USIU, so that sort of thing. So all these universities are under the national office, which then I am president for. So national president of ISEC in Kenya. Yes, so to explain that bit of presidency, yeah. And then just a bit about me, I am a quantity surveyor by profession, but looking to get into the field of human resources. So that's where my curiosity lies. I also love God, so I'm a Christian, I'm a believer. I live by the quote, be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. So I'm the kind of person that goes all out and hard for the things that really spark interest and my passion. And also by virtue of me being part of ISEC, an organization that I joined back in 2013, I also greatly believe in youth leadership and in the empowerment of youth as the solution to humankind's problems. So yeah, that's me.
Wow. So I think I'll just dive into the first question. So
Okay.
you've been in ISEC for a while, a good number of years.
Yes, very many years.
You've had the chance to be even a local president. You've been in the national office. You've been a vice president. Now you are the president of ISEC in Kenya. So just to link up to the first question, what are the roles and benefits of youth organizations in spearheading community contribution?
All right, thank you for that question, Chemao. I think when we talk about youth participation in community development, it's very important for us to begin from the conversation of capacity. So are the youth even able to take part in community action and community development initiatives? So I believe one of the greatest roles that the youth organizations play within that agenda is actually building capacity in the youth, which is one of the things that ISEC is very passionate about. I mean, it is our mission. So developing youth leadership to ensure that they are able to take up the skills that they require to actually make a difference in the society. I think also youth organizations are in a very unique position to offer, to shine a spotlight on the voice of youth. So how can we be able to provide platforms where the youth are able to voice their opinion and then be able to bring these opinions and table them for discussions and implementation of solutions. So youth organizations are able to bring together related parties such as policymakers, the government, private sector. So how can we be able to, amplify the voices of the youth and then have these voices participate in actual decision making? And then lastly, I'd say the community development projects that are coming up as an effort of youth organizations. So how are we able to pinpoint different challenges in the society and be able to create projects that are addressing these issues and providing solutions? So I feel like those are really key things that youth organizations can be able to do as we have youth participating in community development. And when we talk about benefits, so benefits of having the youth participate in such initiatives, I think it goes without saying how the reason why youth participation is such an effective strategy is because it not only leads to the development of the community, but also the personal development of the youth who are involved. So as we have youth participating in these initiatives, they're also developing their own skills. Also the fact that in most communities, the youth take up majority. So for example, in Kenya, if you're looking at youth by definition, 18 to 35 years old, we make up, I believe, 3/4 of the population. So obviously that means youth are able to have experiences, ideas that are unique to their situation, and therefore are able to present, different perspectives and different insights that adults cannot offer on development because of the experiences that we've gone through. So I feel those would be the two main benefits of having the youth participate in these initiatives. Yeah.
Wow. And you guys, you can see why she's the president of ISEC in Kenya. She's had opportunity to interact with or the opportunity to even create these projects for us to be able to call them opportunities and participate in them. And we want to thank you so much, Jemimah. You've been a really big rock for ISEC in Kenya for the past. Okay, I'll leave the years to you. Let me just keep quiet. You know,
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Years is experience. I'm not ashamed.
the past 5 to 6 years. Am I even wrong or am I?
Well, more like 7 years because I joined in 2013. But
Exactly 7 years.
Potato.
So I think we can have also one of our panelists who just came in, Madam Sheila. Kwamboka is in the building. Kwamboka is in the building.
Hey guys.
What's
Hey.
up?
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing fine. We're doing fine. It's really nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. So
Thank you for having me here.
how are you feeling? How are you feeling?
I'm good. It's a beautiful Saturday. Just getting work done, but glad to be part of this. Anything to anything to do with youth and how we can get youth to be able to reach their full maximum capacity and also be part of the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a part of that. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you can just give us a brief introduction about yourself. So who's Sheila to the audience here today?
All right. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Sheila Kwamboka. I'm also known Kwamboks. I'm a radio personality. My career is in radio, media. I'm a supporter of anything Africa and youth especially. So in a nutshell, that's who I am. But most of the conversations that I spare are on media, of course, the main medium being radio. And so I do that on a daily basis. If you listen to my radio show, we try to drive as much conversation as possible about things that matter to the youth.
Wow, that's interesting. So for those who are asking for Kwamboka, you can see the chat box is going crazy. It's really going crazy.
Yes, I was the one who was on BBA. Yeah, so that was a long time ago.
I think many people have, have met Kwamboka in different stages of your life. So that's why you see someone saying, "I'm in the BBA, a radio journalist." At some point, you're in all that coming together. If you were to define your life in one word, what would it be?
Adventure. Adventure. I think for me, I'm always true to the adventure. It's more important because life is a journey, and I think the more you immerse yourself in the adventure, you never stop learning. So I think for me, it's just been an adventure, and it still is an adventure.
Wow, that's interesting. Maybe before we jump into the first question for you, there's someone who just sent me a question and asked, if you're given an opportunity to go back to BBA, will you take that?
Yeah. Oh wow! I was doing a live yesterday with Big Brother housemate, one of the winners, and I was asked this question again, and they said, I would say first, disclaimer, never say never. But I think I've played my part. If it's just the same way it is, no. But if it was, for a good cause and with great money keyword, you never know. You never know.
Yeah. Someone in the chat box is appreciating the fact you've worn your own merchandise. So, maybe you can tell us merchandise.
So, just to divert a bit, Kwamboxing as a lifestyle, just came up from sharing positive vibrations, because if you know me, I'm all about positive energy, positive spaces on the social, on the internet, because there's already a lot of negative energy. And being in the media the past 5 years, I've seen a spike in mental health conversations. A lot of people saying that they're struggling with life, with just everything. And it's not necessarily a young thing. I've seen grandfathers commit suicide. In the past 2 years, I've seen a spike in an elder generation as well that's giving up. So, life needs a different approach. And for me, I decided I'll play my part by ensuring that when I'm on the internet, there's so much negativity I can share, don't be wrong, but I choose not to share it. And I choose to create a space that's positive. And so Kapow and Kwamboxing is a lifestyle, just, sort of just from thinking about that, this is what, people started responding to this, and so I try to represent it everywhere that I am.
So are they on sale, or is it just for your own style?
They're about to be on sale actually from next week. Funny enough, they just came out last week, and so they're about to be on sale.
So is there a place where we can go and find them? Because I'm very sure so many people would want to know where to buy them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just follow my page. We will be unveiling a few things there this week. So I don't want to say too much. Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to spill all the secrets right now.
I don't want to spill all the secrets. I want you to go on my page so you can always get things when they're nice and fresh. Yeah. And also there's a bit of a challenge. A lot of people have. So the kick that I do in the air, it just happened, and then I realized that most people can't do it, and I've never really thought about it. I don't do martial arts. Yeah, so I don't do martial arts, and so I will be giving some of these for free if you can be able to do the kapow. So there's an amazing challenge coming up next week.
You guys have heard about, if you want to do the kapow challenge, anyone apart from Sam Bugwa, please, anyone.
Why are you discriminating on Sam?
No, we're not discriminating. We just we matter. We want to take care of his well-being. People. Yeah, he might.
Sam.
I always wanted to ask. I always wanted. The genesis behind the kapow thing.
There was no. I mean, it just happened. I wanted to share some positive vibes because even in my workspace, it just we start the day with some positive words. It just sets it sets everything right. So I started recording them, and I remember the first day I recorded, it just happened. I kicked in, and I just said kapow, and I finished by saying Kwamboka is a lifestyle. And then, guys responded to that. Then the next day, it was like the same thing. And if you look at, when you see the progression, there was, the words Kwamboka is a lifestyle and kapow are in every video. If you ask me, the previous night, was I thinking about what I was going to say? No. If you asked me 2 minutes before that, was I thinking? No, it just happened.
That's really interesting. So someone is saying that we should open the kapow challenge. So when Kwamboka releases the challenge itself, guys, let's do it.
But guys, kapow responsibly, guys. I have seen people break furniture in their homes. I've seen someone break their TV. So guys, kapow responsibly.
Please, Sambuba, don't try this. Don't try this at home.
Yeah,
we don't
try it at home.
Very interesting calls from parents that this happened.
Yeah, put your mattress on the floor if you want to.
Thank you. Yeah. So maybe we could just dive into a very important question I really wanted and your insight on. Do you think the contribution of youth to their communities is not being entirely understood?
I needed to repeat that. The network was a bit.
Okay. Do you think the contribution of the youth to their communities and their nations is not being entirely understood?
Absolutely. Okay, so that question, I'd answer it in two parts. So you have to, I'll say this. It's obvious for Africans and African leadership, when they look at African youth, which is 70% of the continent, they see unemployment, they see lack of access, they see no opportunities. But ask any corporate, any real CEO of note, put Forbes top 500 CEOs, when you ask them, what do you think about Africa? They will tell you workforce, opportunity, next frontier. So it's evident that the leadership that we have in place has no clue what to do with the emerging market. Maybe they were there to lead us out of colonialism, but they can't seem to figure out how to engage the youth and let the youth actually be the steering. Because when you hear a CEO like Jack this Twitter, he says that he's moving to Africa, and of course everybody's asking why. Is it because of the sandy beaches, safari? Oh hell no! It's because of the youth, the workforce. He sees what he can be able to do. So I think it just starts with leadership, and then just to push it even further, then the question now becomes, who's putting these leaders into power if the youth are 70%? Then you start to realize it's the same issue, say, for example, with Black people and elections. You could have the hype when it comes to the bashes and when they're at elections, you're there rocking the T-shirts, the merchandising, how cool, camo, the red, you know. But when it comes to voting, you're a no-show.
Actually, to some extent, I also agree. Like, I'm looking at it in what we are facing right now globally. Like, when we come back home, let's go to the roots. Like, let's look at, a group like Matare Roots, who are actually using colored graffiti to, spearhead the message and place the message out there. We get another group like the Kushites, one of the group as well, doing the same graffiti, putting the message there. Like the people, the students, the 14 students at KU who came up with the prototype.
Yeah.
That was a brilliant idea. But what are we seeing? We're not even hearing about them. Where did they go? So to some extent, yes, we're not playing it's you may have, I feel there's so much to be done. And once, the beauty of impacting the youth, what you will achieve is just humongous. So for me, I believe we should tap more to the youth, because the youth of today, how and what they deliver is just crazy. It's crazy. Once they are impacted, it's crazy.
But I think it's also part of the culture that's being inculcated in the youth or which is ridiculous, and you hear youth, I visit campuses a lot, and you hear someone telling me, okay, how do I get successful? And I'm like, you're asking the wrong question. You should be asking, for what's my role in society? How do I help my community? And then when you're asking that question, I'll ask you, why are you asking me? Am I in your community? Then you start looking around your community, because that's the purpose of education. But we do have a situation where people, I mean, you'll attest, you have classmates who are just waiting to graduate so they can get their jobs, so they can drive that car. And if you have a bunch of youth who are thinking like that, then who's going to do the development? Who's going to be doing the thinking? The same people who are taking advantage of you. So it's a vicious cycle where you have sort of a dead, for lack of a better term, you have youth who are dead. They're just activated like robots to, okay, come and vote for us. Okay, now go and sit there. Okay, now come, we need workers. Okay. And you will never have an opportunity to be able to decide what it is that you want to do if you don't have individuals being aware of where they fit in community, rather than ask, what can you do for me?
Very true.
I think we are, I think we should, put the question, me as a person, me as a youth, where do I begin? Just small, because I think it's really sickening. Like, each and every time we come out and say, yo, the government needs to do this. If we start with that small thing we have, that's it.
And I think also there's a why I use the word dead, that that youth almost act like people who are dead, is because you find, where are youth, there's that saying that see what you're spending where your focus is, you'll see your outcome. All right, look at where the focus is, right? I'm not saying that social media and all this stuff, I'm part of the media, it is not fun, but like, how do you dissociate yourself from, okay, this is somewhere where I come for entertainment, but like, I do my grind and I'm proud of it? Or do you have a scenario where people just want to, and that's why I don't like using the word hustle, because hustle says, I will do something and then ikivana, I've forgotten about that hustle and I've moved on to the next thing. But grind, your grind is something that there's no success, there's no end to it, there's no end. If you ask, say, Bill Gates, like, why haven't you stopped working, dude? You already have billions. There's a purpose. Your grind never ends. So even if I hit the jackpot right now, I get a 1 billion, does it mean that I stop going to work? Yeah, so that's what you have. You have people who want to point fingers, but you're not aware of where you are. So nobody is going to be able to get you out of that if first you have to be conscious first to take part in life.
Very true.
I don't know how to say that.
Jemimah, do you have an input before?
Yeah, so possibly to share from a different perspective. So yes, we're talking about how generally the youth aren't taking an active participation in all of these initiatives, but possibly to speak from the perspective of a youth organization. So being part of the youth that are actually doing something to change the things around us, I feel our contribution still goes greatly unrecognized, and we don't get support. And I was reading an article that was talking about how, like, one of the challenges we greatly face today as the youth in Kenya is the fact that our aspirations for progress, there's a disconnect in how to make those things achievable. Because, like, take an example for ISEC as a youth organization that has community development projects, that is, championing for youth leadership, empowerment. We don't have access to funding, or the opportunities are limited. We are not being supported. We're not being given platforms to make our voices known. We're not being given that opportunity to take part in decision making. So I feel there's still a lot that the government and even the private sector can do to empower the youth, because if you look around you, there are a lot of youth who are trying to do something. They just need the support, and they need a little bit of push to be able to make an even greater impact in their societies.
I feel also youth youth leaders have sort of maybe disillusioned the youth. So you have you pick one person who is from you, because when we were in Moi times, there were not a lot of youth in leadership. Then came Kibaki time. It was still a struggle to get youth in leadership. But then came what you call a youthful leader. And a lot of youth also managed to make their way into parliament. Show me the difference.
Very true. Very true.
So for me, before even you start to look outside, I feel like for you to be able to make any impact as a youth, you have to find who your allies are. Yeah, and allies not in hype, because hype will only get you there faster, but it won't keep you there. It won't keep you there. So you need people who are, and one word that has been resonating with me this year is integrity. Yes. Show me someone with integrity and you'll see a difference, right? So you need people to say, okay, so that when you have that person or that group of people that are speaking from a place of integrity, then you start now having youth trusting being part of something, right? So, for example, if you have a leader like, say, Babu Owino, right? Babu Owino led University of Nairobi for how long? The aspirations of a lot of youth were on the shoulders of this guy. Now, as he is in parliament, is that the same?
And just
and what's the key thing that was lacking in that in the mix, which is integrity. Hype never takes you anywhere. It's good for the cameras, but when it comes down to it, when he's seated in that office and he's being told, okay, listen, this project for the youth, we have $1 billion, but we can't be able to put it the way the youth want. So you give you 1 million, you go and do halabalu, PR, yeah? And then you guys will be part of the PR. You will allow them to your campuses. You will jump up and down, you'll be given t-shirts, right? Wristbands. You will speak the lingo, TB. So it's just a vicious cycle. And there's something you mentioned, sorry, I didn't get your name, the chairperson.
Jemimah.
Oh,
sorry. Okay.
So here's what's interesting, right?
Confusion,
It's okay. What's most interesting is what you said. It is that guys are not given opportunity. The youth are not given opportunity. If you're not given opportunity, why do you keep giving other people opportunity? Nobody gives the power to the people who are there than the youth. You're the ones who beat people, you do tear gas, blah blah blah. But why can't you fight for yourself? Yeah, you're jobless. you're jobless. Like the other day, I saw a video of a guy's genitals being squeezed by the police, right? I'm seeing youth in Kenya talking about injustice in America. It's great. I'm also speaking about that injustice. But I waited for men to stand up and say, enough. You understand? So bringing you back to integrity, right? Once you start to resonate with people with integrity, and you empower them, because a leader cannot be by themselves if they're not empowered by people who believe in them, right? So you get people with integrity, and they become your source point. They might not even be famous, but they speak. When they speak for, this person represents me, this person speaks for me. And so more of you start to support this person. When now you want to make your voice heard, you just let them speak, and you guys resonate with what they are saying. But what you have is someone comes to you guys and attracts you. Look at my t-shirt. Kwamboxing is a lifestyle. I take your cash, I take your votes, and I'm out of it. And you're back to the streets complaining about unemployment.
Kwamboka, I really like the point where you talked about opportunity. For me, I usually look at it this way. Yes, people cry, opportunities. But once this opportunity is there, are you actually prepared for this opportunity? Because this is the greatest strategy with most youths. Our opportunity is created, but they are not ready for that opportunity. And you're the same people who keep on complaining, opportunities. So for me, I look at it, get ready. Always be ready. Once this opportunity comes, grab it and run with it. And then for most of the youths, it's all about the mindset. How you change and conform that mindset will really determine the kind of person you are. Yeah? Because for me, I actually look at it like we've inherited the past. So even if fresh leaders come in, there will be no great difference. It's still the same cycle, because we're used to the past of how things are done. So when this new person comes with this brilliant idea or what have you, we will not see that, because we're used to the system, and that's it.
And that's why I started with. I started by saying that before you can even claim unemployment, you have to first find out where it is. You know, while you're on campus. So when I do the campus conversations, I always tell guys, I like to talk to past years. Your campus time is not for you to sit there and wait for your graduation. Let me tell you, I even have arguments with parents. I even have arguments. I'm like, if you don't want your kid to go in that school and figure themselves out, you can't tell them you can't get a job or a side hustle, stay focused in class. This is not primary school.
Yeah.
It's not high school. So when you're in campus, you're supposed to unafanya class moja hivi, the teacher says, and that's 1 + 1 = 2. You go out there and practice 1 + 1 = 2. Because if you don't apply it immediately, and you're sitting there waiting for it, you're going, wait until I get that employment letter. I'm going to show them.
You will wait.
I'm going to show them. And even if you get there, trust me, you will not be prepared for as prepared as someone who's in their first year. So you find that people who will be at a job, and you're basically complacent. And there are workspaces. I'm in the workforce, and I get so mad because you find graduates who have been working in the same spot for 7 years, and they have even the company is not growing, because you have people who are just like, I'm here to punch in my hours. And that's why the country is the way it is. So why I take time with campus guys is because you have an opportunity to chart your course. You don't need to come and start telling the president, unemployment. Yeah, it's important. It's your right to say these things should be there. It should be an environment that I should be able to do something. But remember that we live in the system is already as an individual, you should be looking at what, now I've gotten the information. Where am I going to apply? Now I've gotten the information. Guys, I'm ready to apply it for you guys there in your office. There's no jobs. There's no jobs. Yeah. So once you've gravitated towards the thing that you've been doing, so while you're on campus, maybe you started volunteering at a mechanical shop. You are learning. You learn one day. You go there. You apply. Does it mean that when you leave that shop, you're going to become a mechanic? No. By the time you finish, you'll have learned how to have your own shop.
True.
Right?
True.
Yeah.
So now you'll sit and say, okay, but where will I get the capital? Ask any business person, including myself. Nobody ever starts with capital unless you're like really rich, right? The idea is the most important. The information behind it, the energy, the integrity to do it. Then everything comes into play. Now, scrap all that I've said. You have people who are not thinking like that. You go to school, you do your thing, you say, I'm doing it. I'm doing it the way I was told. You finish, you come out, you're disillusioned. So now what do you want to do? The shortest way to the money. Forget about integrity, forget about anything. I'm just going to do what I did. So you hear you graduates talking about deals imetufikisha.
Yeah.
True.
If you're passionate, say now we have youth who are being real and putting the thing that they've learned into the thing that they're passionate about, passion and the thing that you've learned, merging. So you find more people not trying to fit inside few boxes in Tao as named offices, but going out there. Who actually wants to sit in an office doing this, wearing an nobody. I don't think anybody wants to do that. You want to be able to go out there and make an impact as soon as you started life, right? So you went to get the education. Now you've gotten it. You've gone, maybe you've decided, you know what, I've realized in my village, they don't have Wi-Fi, right? And this national supplier is doing, lakini hajafikisha. Me learn mechanical engineering. I've calculated there's 1,000 people in this area that need electricity. So I'm going to start this small power plant right here. Right? Does it take? We have a water source. So I have this, your education yako is coming into play.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But you have more people running to go to, and you see when you're doing something like that, you will find like-minded people. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, guys. There's no part I'm going to say it's going to be easy. It's never going to be easy.
Yes.
But that's the more thing that we need. Then if we have more youth doing that, you will hear more youth holding the government accountable.
Very true.
Because you know exactly where your need is.
Very true. Very true. I'm even like if we could have changed, we just changed that instead of once I'm done with campus, with college and what have you, I get employment. We change that.
Yeah.
That's it. Because you know, it's high time we start looking at things differently. Like I'm doing this, I get this certain skill set, and then let me transfer myself in doing ABC. Maybe I start my own thing. For me, I usually share with the youth, and for me, it's usually like, just pose that question. What if you're not employed?
Yeah.
Does it mean life has ended for you?
And you
What
guys think
means for
employment
you?
is so dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys in college think employment is so dope. Wow.
It's not.
You guys don't know. You guys don't know,
It's
guys.
not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not. Because actually, people, you know, I usually admire farmers. I admire farmers because you look at a farmer, this person is dirty and what have you, but at the end of the day, that is the most richest person you can ever meet.
True.